I think when we started, we were aware, we said to ourselves, Pixar's already made, Wall-E and Lightyear, 2 sci-fi film, and how can we be a little different? And so we kind of said, could we make a space we've never seen before?
I am Questa, leader of GOM.
Helix, leader of aluminum.
And you're the leader of...
Earth?
Hear that, everyone? It's the leader of Earth.
Uh-oh.
Det er altid en helt særlig begivenhed, når en ny Pixar-film udkommer. For selvom det hæderkronede filmselskab måske ikke altid leverer en nyklassiker på højde med Toy Story,
Very good.
Up,
So long, boys!
eller De Utrolige, så er deres bundniveau stadig ufattelig højt.
Showtime.
Og deres nyeste film, Elio, er endnu en charmerende perle.
You will feel my wrath. Gordon?
Hi, Dad!
Det er et rumeventyr ligesom Lightyear og Wall-E. Og derudover så er Elio endnu en Pixar-film om et unikt venskab.
Are you gonna eat me? What? Ew. Oh, no. My name's Elio. Well, what's your name? No one's ever asked me my name before. I'm Gordon.
Denne gang er det venskabet mellem en menneskelig dreng og et ormelignende rumvæsen ved navn Gordon.
Come and get me.
Drengen hedder Elio, og han har mistet begge sine forældre og bliver nu passet af sin tante Olga, spillet af den nyligt Oscar-belønnede superstjerne Zoe Saldana.
Thank you to the Academy.
Elio føler sig også meget ensom, og derfor er det intet under, at han stiger længselsfuldt på nattehimlen og drømmer sig til en galakse langt borte.
So, if there are any aliens listening, please come get me.
Og en dag bliver hans bøn hørt, og så bliver et vanligt, farverigt og fornøjeligt Pixar-eventyr skudt i gang. Ja, som man kan høre, så er Elio endnu en Pixar-film, der sammenfletter seriøse emner med familievenlig ramachan. Og det mix leverer filmen uden slinger i valsen.
Your life isn't up there, Elio. You need to make friends.
I just want to belong somewhere.
Måske fordi filmen er udtænkt af blandt andet 3 af Pixars dygtigste historiefortællere, som vi har interviewet. Mary Alice Drumm er filmens producer, og hun har blandt andet Pixar-mesterværket Coco på CV'et. Madeline Sharafian er den ene af filmens instruktører, og hun startede sin Pixar-karriere som en storyboard-tegner på netop Coco. Senere blev Sharafian Oscar-nomineret for sin blændende Pixar-kortfilm Burrow, som handler om en ung kanin, der kæmper for at bygge sit drømmehjem. Den anden instruktør på Elio er kanadisk-kinesiske Domee Shi, som vandt en Oscar for sin fantastiske og enormt rørende Pixar-kortfilm Bao fra 2018. Og i 2022 var Shi den første kvinde i Pixars historie, som solo-instruerede en af selskabets spillefilm, nemlig den delvis selvbiografiske Turning Red.
Is everything okay?
I'm a gross red monster! Don't look at me! Stay back!
This happened already?
What did you say?
Og under vores interview fandt vi hurtigt ud af, at også Elio har en forbindelse til Domee Shis egen opvækst.
Hello, everyone.
Cool background.
Thank you. This is my movie library.
Are those DVDs?
Those are Blu-rays and 4Ks, actually, mostly. About 4,000 movies in total.
Oh my God, you have the Criterion closet in your own house.
I do. Exactly, and I'm actually constantly surprised when I go in here that there's stuff that I find that I didn't even realize that I had because I just have so much stuff. Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Well, if you guys ever swing by Denmark, I mean, my wife has put a Johans Blockbuster sign on the door, so you should open up the tours. Yeah. But it's so nice to talk to all of you. Thank you for another so beautiful, heartfelt Pixar movie. There's so much stuff in this film that I loved, and there's one particular moment, one particular scene that I have to talk about. I mean, you've realized because of my background, I'm a bit of a geek. I definitely lean into that. I'm also very much, my biggest pop cultural love is Star Trek. So, of course, I couldn't help but notice that in your opening scene in the museum voiceover, you, of course, had Captain Janeway of the Starship Voyager doing the voiceover about the Voyager probe.
It's good to hear your voice, Lieutenant.
You know, I speaking of my wife, she was,
Oh my God,
friendly enough
there she is.
With her coffee. Yeah.
Exactly.
Coffee first. Coffee black. Coffee black. Coffee black. Coffee black.
There's coffee in that nebula,
Yes.
Commander, set a new course. There's coffee in that nebula.
I'm even geeky enough to, I wrote my university thesis on political analogies in Star Trek. So I'm geeky enough to know that the Starship Voyager is an Intrepid class ship. And you have her say that the Voyager probe was an Intrepid explorer. So it's like, you made my geeky heart so happy. And I just need to hear about, getting Kate Mulgrew on board and having her do that scene.
Yeah. Kate's amazing. And it's so interesting. Like Star Trek Voyager has a special place in my heart because it was like one of the TV shows that me and my mom would watch growing up. I feel like that's kind of how like my mom picked up on English too. Just like watching Kate kind of like, just like in her like calm and commanding voice, just kind of lead her crew.
Somewhere along this journey, we'll find a way back.
And there was a scene in the prologue with a narrator who's kind of introducing Elio to Voyager, this like real kind of satellite, that this like message in a bottle that Earth sent out into space in the 70s. And we thought, wouldn't it be such a great nod to sci-fi fans, to Star Trek fans, if we got Kate Mulgrew to do the voice? And she said yes. And it was amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried not to fangirl too much. And she was a total professional too. Like I felt like she didn't even need us there because she was so professional. She came in, she'd do a take, and then she'd be like, again. Like she would give herself notes, and we'd be like, oh, but the first take sounds so great. And she's like, no, I'm gonna try this again. She's just incredible, an incredible professional, and just so amazing, and adds so much gravitas to our opening scene.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. So very much appreciated from a fellow Trekkie here. And another thing that I also really appreciated about this film, again, because I've seen so much sci-fi in my life that it's very rarely that I feel that I watch a sci-fi story and feel that the universe and the creatures and the whole look of it is totally fresh and unique. And I did that when I watched Elio. I thought this was such a unique world. This was something that I hadn't really seen before. So I'd love to hear, what was like the creative mandate on this in terms of making sure that you made something that was so fresh and felt genuinely, alien.
Yeah, I think when we started, we were aware. We said to ourselves, Pixar's already made, Wall-E and Lightyear, two sci-fi films. And how can we be a little different? And so we kind of said, could we make a space we've never seen before? And one specific thing with the aliens was, if you think about older movies, they're kind of limited, and it's often a guy in an alien suit. So can we have aliens that aren't bipedal? What can they look like? And so he did it. Harley Jessup is our production designer, who did Ratatouille and Coco, some of the most beautiful Pixar movies. And he looked at deep sea creatures, and he looked at microorganisms, and like the tardigrade is an influence for Glorden. And looking at the really deep sea creatures, a lot of those look like aliens, right? A lot of those are even bioluminescent. And so those were some of the key design elements. And then Maddie and Domee really challenged everyone. If this is a wish fulfillment story for Elio, you want it to feel warm and friendly and kind of a dream coming true.
And also, this is the first Pixar movie that I've seen since I became a dad. So I was like interested in, how much, with the infamous Pixar strain on the tear ducts be, increased, now. And the answer is quite a lot. So, which didn't come as a surprise, but it's also because, of course, it's another beautiful film that deals so beautifully and so heartfelt with some very serious, notions, the notions of childhood loss, of guilt, of feelings of loneliness. And I'd love to ask you, as storytellers, of that potentially difficult balancing act of taking those important, those heavy subjects and putting them into such a colorful, family-friendly setting and story without ensuring that it becomes too serious, and likewise also without, taking them too lightly, that balancing act.
Yeah, that's such a good question, because it is a balancing act. But as we're making the film, for some reason, it doesn't ever feel, there are moments where maybe we come up with something that we're like, it's too heavy. I don't really want to see that. But when we make our movies, we don't ever want to dumb anything down or try to, lower the sophistication level for the audience. So, for example, I feel like the scenes that stand out to me, like this argument scene with Olga and Elio in the beginning of the film.
And for once, tell me the truth.
We wanted that to feel like an argument that's kind of ugly, and it's, it's a nasty moment for both of these characters that creates this rift that, as an audience, you really want it to be fixed. And having talented actors like Zoe Saldana and Jonas, who is so young but so gifted, I think they bring that rawness, but also there's still love underneath what they're saying. So a scene like that, I really love that it exists in the movie alongside, a scene where Elio has to crawl into Glorden's mouth.
Glorden, I am not fireproof! Why didn't you say something? Glorden! Just get in my mouth.
It's actually kind of comfy in here.
It is? I've never been in there.
Like these two things existing together, I do think is that sort of Pixar flavor of like, we'll give you the real, and the animators take the performances very seriously, but then, we're going to have some fun along the way. And I think, it's a taste that we all share, that we want all of those things. We want authenticity, and we need entertainment. Yeah. So it just kind of, I don't know, it kind of balanced itself out. It kind of worked out just by that being what we all like working on here.
It's also like, I think there's also trial and error too. Like the way I love to work is I always like to push it too far and then get told to reel it back. And I think, that's why our movies take so long. We're showing the movie multiple times to different audiences. We'll have audience previews where we watch it with families. That's when we know if things aren't hitting or if we're going too far, then we have to we're scaring too many children, or let's pull it back a little bit. It's just like feeling it out, fine tuning it, and working with the actors. Like Maddie said, it really helps too. Like I think they're very intuitive. Like Zoe is a mom herself to 3 boys, so when she's recording a scene like that where she has to be harsh to a kid, she always knows kind of like when it feels like we're going a little too far, to the point where the character may be unredeemable. And she can kind of like feel it out, like from a personal experience of like, I would say it more like this, or like kind of like try to get underneath the hood of the character. Like, she's frustrated with him, but she cares about him. It's not pure anger. It's like, it comes from a place of concern or like confusion or hurt or something like that. And that's kind of how we're able to find that balance, I think.
Cool. Yeah. I've been asked to wrap up. It's been such a pleasure talking to all of you. Thank you so much, and live long and prosper. See you on the next one.
Yes. Great to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
This is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
This is the bathroom.
Waving from such great heights, come down now.